Hey everyone, I'm Rosemary Miller here with Nadia Edwards-Dashti, a Forbes contributor, here to tell us about jobs in Web3. Thank you so much for joining me today, Nadia.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So, Nadia, does pursuing a job in Web3 still make sense?
Yeah, well, do you know what? What a great question. Does it make sense? I think it really does because it's here. A lot of people think it's coming, but it's here. It's here to stay. And there's a wealth of opportunity within it. There's also a wealth of risk. There's also a wealth of unknown. I think anybody wanting to get into this space, they will put themselves into such a good stead for their career because the experience that they will have, the experiences that they will gain, will be things that will put them in such good stead for the rest of their lives.
So, could you give me an example of what a job in Web3 looks like today versus what it may look like in, I don't know, 2030?
Well, I mean, that is again a very, very good question. But I think what a job looks like in Web3 right now, it could be many, many different things. And that's the beauty of this industry because often these Web3 companies, they kind of live and breathe their own ecosystem. So you could have a legal expert within the world of Web3. And that, I mean, that individual right now will be having a whole lot of fun because there's so many regulations and so many conversations around what will be in place and what will change over the years that there'll be so many challenges that individual will face. But I think the main thing that people think about when they talk about jobs within Web3 is they talk about Web3 development, they talk about blockchain development, they talk about architecture, they talk about the coding and how that code is going to be progressed within the space and how that code is going to become more accessible. So there's so many different things that we can look at when we look at the technology side of it. There's also so many other avenues that people can get involved in Web3. And that isn't just the legal one as the example I shared. There's product, there's marketing, there's the ability to talk about usability within Web3, which, let's be honest, is the crux of what Web3 really is today, how people can interact with it, access it, use it. So this whole usability piece, user experience, user design, is something that I think will really 10x over the next few years.
Well, Nadia, could you tell me, like, what are some majors that college students should consider if they're interested in pursuing a career in Web3?
So I'm probably not going to say to go down the majors route. I think that the world is changing far too quickly for that within Web3. People are actually looking for shorter courses and certifications. So there's a number of certifications that you can find online. The important thing is to make sure that you're going to the ones that are credible. So blockchain.com, they have a number of things there. But the point that I want to make on this is that actually deciding to forge a career within Web3 is about understanding that change will become your life. Change and being agile, being able to pivot, being able to handle the unknown. So I call it being confident in vulnerability, that whole ability to be able to live outside of your comfort zone. Because Web3 is changing, because it's changing the way that we interact with the internet, the way we interact with data, the way we interact with content, and in many forms, the way we interact with one another, this is going to open up so many opportunities for how we deal with technology, how we deal with the communication of that, how we make sure that people who have never ever had access before now have access. They have access fairly and safely. There are so many things to consider with this. And any major I could talk about right now, in 3 years' time, what we will be able to do with regards to Web3 will be in a totally different world.